Hello, everybody. My name is Swami Natarajan, and I am from the Oracle Global Industry Solutions team, and I'm focusing on financial services industry. Welcome to this presentation on Oracle Finance Modernization for Banking Solution. During the next 30 minutes, we will walk through the drivers and challenges of today's banking institution. I'll introduce the capabilities of our cloud-first approach that integrates key capabilities across Oracle Financial Service Analytics application, Oracle Cloud ERP, Oracle PM applications, and Oracle Cloud Platform Technology stack, and also along with the visualization tools. So let's get going. There are actually 6 forces shaping a banking industry today. Perhaps the most powerful of these is the experience economy. As our everyday interactions and experiences have become more personalized and much simpler, so do our expectations of how we want to bank and our notion of work itself. The concept of this consumerization reflects how banks will be affected by and can take advantage of the new technologies and models that originate and develop in the consumer space. Although the economic conditions appear to be unstable, universal banks with trading businesses have benefited from market volatility brought about by COVID. Yet the industry as a whole continues to face headwinds, not only as the interest rates have been kept at near zero, but also by continuous pressure on already squeezed profit margins. Progressive banks are moving to a platform-based business model that aligns their digitization and ecosystem strategies, allowing them to bring in new value-added services for their customers. These platform-based business models have become a key response strategy as big tech continues their assault to build out their financial service offerings. And both platform-based banking and big tech have an extremely large and loyal customer base that they can easily market their services to, right inside the social media interaction that they own or the platforms that they control. Banks are feeling the heat, of course, right? For example, in a recent Bain study, consumer gave Amazon and Google a higher rating on their primary value chain compared to their primary banks because the quality of service is different. It saves times, it simplifies, it reduces the anxiety. Let's look at the 5th driver, which is regulation and security. Banks are under incredible pressure to manage a complex and costly regulatory environment and the operational system that support it. Regulators are increasingly making the demands for reporting consistency and unencumbered access to details of bank filings. Finally, it is a technology adoption itself that enables the experience economy and fuels the other forces impacting the industry. The ongoing commoditization of existing technologies and the accelerated introduction of new technologies is perhaps the single largest force reshaping the financial services industry. Let's move on to the next thing on what really are the challenges that the clients are facing and what are the drivers behind these many challenges. The experience economy is an important for your stakeholders as it is for your customers. And the bar is being raised across all interactions, whether they are external or internal. The second challenge in managing employees, with so much of reliance on technology, banks are more like tech firms these days, and the war for talent is just as heated. Profitability is the third challenge. Over time, banks have acquired multiple core banking applications, and they rely on highly manual and error-prone accounting and closing environments. And most pressingly, cost-cutting is a constant challenge, and the banks will continue to shift their expenses from CapEx to OpEx, including the use of cloud computing. Let's look at the fourth agility. And this is relating to the agility that a CIO and a CTO need to iterate more quickly and reduce the inefficiencies that are caused by siloed data and legacy platforms. They need to automate the manual tasks, and to become competitive, they need to become more efficient, responsive, and resilient. The fifth is innovation, and innovation is a much talked about topic in current conditions. There are many parts to innovation, but reliance on legacy systems continue to hinder the forward momentum to become more innovative, and the finance function is challenged by criticality of these solutions. The last of these challenges is managing risk and compliance, where the focus is on lowering the cost of compliance and reporting, while also effectively addressing the complex cyber threat vectors. Now, let's look at what's happening today in terms of finance operating model. A finance operating model is shifting to be more, to become more modern and agile. Digital innovation has automated the transaction processing, which in turn allowed the CFOs to focus on strategic areas. So from a heavy transaction processing system that you see on the left-hand side environment, the CFOs are now focusing on helping their CEOs to become a strategic transformation person sitting on the board with actual insightful information, which he can get it from the new finance operating model. And that is the shift that is happening today. Moving on to, let's see how this shift is shaping and what are the industry players are saying. The new finance operating model shift has begun. There's about 68% reduction in time in monthly risk-adjusted closing and reporting because of the new operating model. According to McKinsey, finance leaders spend about 19% or more time on value-added activities compared to the transaction processing that they used to do in the old operating model. And this is predominantly the typical finance department shift that is moving towards more strategic value add compared to transaction processing. Now, according to Accenture, 86% of the CFOs have increased the frequency and scope of collaboration with the C-suite partners. And that basically leveraging their visibility, analytics, access to data, and enterprise risk insight that is provided by the new operating model. Now, another interesting Accenture survey talks about 21% of the CFOs use operational data to identify new value, and 20% include macroeconomic data, including like forecasts and others. This is really changing the way the CFOs connect to their peers and to the other CXOs. 75% of the time in top finance functions is devoted to data analysis and insight. This is according to PwC. Now, this is fundamentally the way the new operating model is really helping organization to move towards more a strategic role compared to a tactical transaction processing role. Now, let's move on and see what really happening, right? Given these challenges and the operating model that's coming in, let's imagine the following. Imagine if you needed a fewer people running traditional operating processes. You had less regulatory filing hours. You required fewer reconciliations. You benefited from increased automation for pay cycles, or you could be lower the need for manually maintaining asset registers. And you being a CFO of a custodian of an asset, it's extremely important that you have a complete view of the asset register and then produce the necessary reports. This is exactly what is happening now. So I'm going to share some of the Oracle clients who are going through this transformation and getting the benefit of the new paradigm that we are talking about with the new operating model, which is not necessarily only the infrastructure rationalization, but it goes all the way up to the application layer in terms of transformation. Let's look at some of the client transformations. The first one I'm going to talk about is Voya Financials. Voya Financials is powered its entire finance department with a complete ERP cloud with an agile GL that increases the performance of the finance organization. Now, the next big one is State Bank of India. This is the largest bank in India. And they went on integrating, they wanted to strengthen the integration between their risk and finance function, which essentially improves the reputation, profitability, and risk management. The project covered data analytics, of course, including the management view and the regulatory reporting, also the risk and finance functions across all the geographies of the bank. This is spread across 27 different countries with 23,500 branches. And it covered, the project covered about 500 million accounts with consistent and integrated delivery across 22 different modules, which is effectively used by 10 different departments in risk and finance. The third interesting study that I would like to share is Lloyd's. Lloyd's wanted a solution that would create one source of truth and increase the business agility while eliminating the IT cost. Lloyd's went into this project, avoided millions of dollars of IT costs by moving to a cloud solution that standardized the best practices, which also eliminated expensive customization that they have been running for a long time. Lloyd's gained a centralized data repository that created a single source of truth for all their 45,000 employees and also helped in improved decision-making and really providing a real-time data analysis for the entire organization. So these are some of the examples of the global finance modernization happening in the banking industry. Now, let me move on to what exactly is the solution that we are talking about here. So it's Oracle Finance Modernization Solution that was created primarily because the customers were asking us to spend more time in creating value for the business through the insight and analysis of all the data that is available and moving away from transaction processing. These new efficiencies in machine learning create the ability for the finance function to have a more time to focus on their value creation strategies. So we essentially enable faster closing and use a smart approach to managing data. We have increased the accuracy and timelines of the statutory, regulatory, and management reporting and provide the ability to drill down and drill back from anywhere in the system. We are delivering all this with the flexibility and security and economics of cloud. This is a modular, agile approach to modernization, which will essentially help in faster closing and also able to better prioritize your opportunities while addressing the growing needs of finance to contribute to the bottom line of the organization. Now, let me move to the next important area on this, which is about the whole finance modernization banking solution is built around a cloud-native architecture. A cloud-native technology are characterized by the use of containers, microservices, serverless functions, development pipelines, and infrastructure expressed as a code. Cloud-native enables a faster software development and the ability to build applications that are resilient, manageable, observable, and dynamically scalable to global enterprise organizations like the banks that you represent. Moving on, let's ask the question before we move forward in understanding the solution. When it comes to making time to use your data for insights and operations, where is your bank today? If you are like many organizations, you want to move beyond merely being a traditional operational finance team. You are striving to help the bank make more strategic data and make data-driven decisions. Your objective is to spend less time focused on low-value activities. And if you're striving to move that work and run systems which are well-defined with the processes, so you can apply more time in adding value to the organization through the insight and strategic advices that you are getting from the system. Now, let's look at Oracle Finance Modernization for Banking Solution. Is essentially an example of what you can quickly achieve when you can bring together the power of Oracle Financial Services Data Hub, the analytical engine, and the cloud platform, which are, of course, consist of the best of breed ERP and EPM SaaS components from Oracle. The solution essentially consists of the following. The first piece is obviously the best-in-class financials cloud, the general ledger, the accounts payable, accounts receivable, fixed asset register. And also it has the accounting hub cloud service, which is part of the Oracle ERP cloud. The second important piece is obviously the enterprise planning and budgeting cloud of EPM, which is part of the Oracle EPM cloud. The third important layer is Oracle Financial Services Analytical Engine. And then you have the Oracle Analytics Cloud, Oracle Autonomous Transaction Processing, and of course, Oracle Integration Cloud from the platform as a service offering. All driven by a close manager, a process orchestration application that guides in period closing from data ingestion through to the regulatory fillings, as well as the data federation to other business tools, so that they can develop their own insight using finance reconciled banking data. So let's review these capabilities one by one. The first piece is Oracle Accounting Hub Cloud Solution. The capabilities of Oracle Accounting Hub Cloud brings disparate accounting systems together into your primary general ledger for a single source of truth. It consistently enforces accounting policies to achieve a complete and timely insight without needing to leave the system. As an integrated accounting platform, Oracle Accounting Hub, combined with Oracle Financial Services Data Foundation, standardize the accounting from multiple banking transaction systems in an automated, controlled fashion with minimal disruption to the existing financial processes. The core capability of Accounting Hub is the robust accounting engine that allows flexibility in its configuration that captures rich elements from the bank's existing business systems. That is how Fusion Accounting Hub works. Now, let's move to the next important piece of the financials cloud. The heart of the system is the Oracle Financials Cloud with its robust financial ledger and subledger capabilities. And it is overarching the global architecture that includes tax, payment, accounting engines to meet the broader range of business needs. These capabilities enable the customer to configure the system to meet the individual country and business requirements. Oracle Financial Clouds includes complete internalization support, including the number, date, name, and addressing formats in about 26 different languages. The application includes scalable enterprise structure so that any size enterprise, from the smallest bank to the largest bank, can model their business, support unlimited accounting representations, and satisfy comprehensive statutory reporting needs, including GAAP compliance, IFRS compliance, and you name it. Oracle Financial Cloud is delivered as a single global solution that enables each instance to be turned for a specific region or a country without requiring multiple implementations of the product. Now, let's look at the next important thing from a performance management perspective. So from performance management, Let's look at the profitability capabilities of the solution that is available part of this cloud application. The Oracle solution delivers a comprehensive best-of-breed performance analytics covering cost allocations, risk-adjusted performance, customer profitability. It even has fully loaded P&L analytics. It does net interest income and net interest margin analytics, which are some of the examples that I could quote here. Now, the next important piece is obviously planning and forecasting. Oracle Enterprise Performance Management Cloud, together with the Oracle Financial Services Analytical Engine, delivers a sophisticated financial intelligence and leverages the powerful built-in features to rapidly model multiple scenarios to quickly deal with the change. We can truly connect all planning and drive agile and connected plans, right from scenario modeling to long-range planning to budgeting, and to also in line of business planning, including the operational planning, marketing planning, revenue planning, etc. Now, the next important piece is on the advanced analytics. Let's look at the powerful reporting capabilities before we dive into analytics. The solution obviously includes a very powerful reporting capabilities. Oracle's narrative reporting is a purpose-built business process available within the Oracle EPM cloud, which essentially helps in narrating reporting as well as publishing those reports. It provides a very secure, collaborative, process-driven approach for defining, authoring, reviewing, publishing a financial report, and even a management report, which essentially takes care of your internal and then external stakeholders as well. Now, the next, probably the most important piece of the solution is analytics. The solution provides advanced analytics and visualization via Analytics Cloud that empowers business analysts and the consumer with modern AI-powered self-service analytics capabilities. Let's look at some of the examples. It helps in data preparation, visualization, enterprise reporting, augmented analysis, and natural language processing and generation. So it's a power of analytics that is inbuilt into the application. Oracle Analytics for Application is a pre-built application, and it's part of the Oracle Analytics Cloud, which is powered by the Oracle Autonomous Data Warehouse Cloud as well. Now, with this, we're coming to the end of the session. Now, before I conclude the session, the important thing that comes to mind is in this cloud transformation, we are offering an identical functionality in every combination of the cloud. Due to security and privacy concerns, banks and their regulators have historically been very reluctant to adopt to cloud-based services. The consequences of a breach can be devastating for customers, shareholders, company officials, and of course for employees. Oracle understands the complexities and challenges that the banks have in moving their mission-critical finance processes to the cloud. We have been helping clients to move their finance processes into all three available cloud deployment models. What are the cloud deployment models that we offer? We offer public cloud. We offer a dedicated pod in public cloud. And we also offer Oracle Cloud within the bank's data center. So we can essentially bring the cloud into your own data center. So our cloud functions the same no matter where it runs. So you can take, you can undertake your cloud transformation using any of the cloud models, let's say starting with public cloud, and then migrate to something like running in your own data center. So hopefully you got an idea of what is finance modernization for banking solution is. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much and have a great conference. Thank you.